And welcome back to the week of Who Would Wins. It's Tuesday, so we're continuing on with the Who Would Win schedule. And this one comes to us from Jeddah Doma. I think I'm getting that name right. Who would ask the question, who would win in a fight? Freddy Krueger versus the Krampus. Now, unless it's near October, near Halloween, I generally try to limit the actual number of horror-themed characters I do and who would win, so as I like to save them for the Halloween, but I'll still do one. Like I did Jason on Friday versus Deathstroke, and I figured seeing as this was the next person on my list of people that gave me suggestions, I might as well get it out of the way. Also, there's yes, there's more than one version of the Krampus from the movies, but the only one that I can really focus on is the one from the movie Krampus, the one that came out in 2015. There is a couple other ones, and there is like the American Dad one, but we're not really going to do that. We're going to focus on that Krampus. Freddy Krueger is obvious, but let's get into our combatants here. Freddy Krueger is the Sandman. He's the Dream Master, if you will. He was a child killer / pedophile. That was implied in the original movies, and it was proven in the remake. And he died, but he was given a chance apparently by dream demons. That was a thing. And then he lived on pretty much in the dream world, and he could invade people's dreams and kill you in your sleep, provided he had enough strength to do so. I mean, his powers are whatever he wants them to be in the dream world. So long as he has sufficient energy to feed off of someone, his powers are exponential. He feeds off the fear. He wants you afraid. So he can do just about anything in the dream world. But he does have a limit, and does have technically a limit, because if you're not technically afraid of him, he does have a limitation in terms of what he can do against you. Granted, he can feed off the souls of like other people he's had and killed and things along those lines, but he is still limited if he's going one-on-one with someone and hasn't like swallowed souls or anything like that. Swallow your soul. If he hasn't done that, sorry, it's gotten muggy around here. Also, I'm not 100% at the moment, but it got muggy. Fuck, it got muggy. But he does have some limitations. But again, what he can do in the dream world is for your imagination. He can be pulled into the real world and has then the physical limitations, basically, of someone in the real world. He's no stronger than a guy his build and size and all that. He does have some minor reality warping powers, though, and still has some minor abilities in the real world. Particularly if there's still fear to feed off of in the real world. That was illustrated in Nightmare 2. There was still some illustration of that in the first Nightmare. And even in the third one where his skeleton reanimates. So he does still have a level of power, but it's not even like a 10th or a 20th of what his actual power is, because in his actual limitless power form, basically in the dream world, he technically doesn't have any limits. So there you go. But he does still have some power. But then he's still vulnerable to any sort of form of weaponry, things along those lines, like anyone else is. Until the Dream Demons basically cut him off, he still couldn't be 100% killed. He could be defeated and then would resurrect at another time, but he couldn't be killed. But he couldn't be he couldn't be killed permanently. But after the Dream Demons left, yeah. But either way, whoever wins this fight, we're gonna call it, if they kill him, even if they're gonna come back, it's still the win for the character. The Krampus, as we see the Krampus in the movie The Krampus 3 times, he's more than like, because he's basically Santa's counterpart. He punishes the wicked who aren't in the Christmas spirit. And he comes and punishes them, excuse me. He comes and punishes them through basically locking them in. He basically likes to play mind games with a family. He will take the family of whoever it was who wasn't in the Christmas spirit away from them. And he basically can create a supernatural blizzard, which, as I think the uncle said, is like that's damn near frostbite in like only a couple minutes. So it's extreme power. He's basically got weather control in a finite area. He has chains that he uses for his nefarious ways, including, he could use it in combat. He can use it to grab people. He has little helpers, including the gingerbread men, who are little demonic gingerbread men. These weird elf things. He's got his own elves. I don't know. I still don't exactly know what the deal with those guys actually is, but he's got helpers in that sense. And his demonic toys, which range from a teddy bear with sharp teeth to a giant, gooey, fleshy doll thing, angel thing, and a jack-in-a-box that swallows people. And we never figure out what that thing was under the snow. I'm guessing it's a graboid. He's got graboids. I don't know. He's got something that drags you under the snow. And then he can just open the gates pretty much of the underworld, throw people in there, and seal them in a little Christmas globe. Perfect Christmas scenario. So, excuse me. Whew. So the Krampus is old, powerful, also very agile. We see him jumping from roof to roof without much effort. So he is very agile for his size, which is like easily in the 8 to maybe 10-foot range. Ooh, excuse me. Oh man, I'm probably weighing a good couple 100 pounds minimum. Sorry, I got a new one. I kind of fell out and took a nap. Didn't really help much. And I landed on, I had my hand in a weird way, and now I got like a tremble in my hand because it was just it was like in an angle for so long. It's now kind of, like just holding it like that is, I can actually feel a bit of a tremor in my hand doing that. So, Anywho, enough about my medical stuff. You want to see these guys fight. So there's two ways to look at this. I'm certain, like most individuals, Santa probably sleeps. I'm sure the Krampus sleeps. We're going to do a dream fight and the fight in reality. And a fight in reality, Freddy's going to have a very big disadvantage. Let's say he's attacking on Christmas Eve, or attacking during Christmas. And, it's, well, not Christmas, but during like a couple days of Christmas, on the holidays. And he's messing with these families, maybe he's killed a couple. And the Krampus all the while is working his shit, and he's not even aware of Freddy. So the kid finally pulls Freddy out as the Krampus is about to come out, and they just look at each other. And even Freddy's probably looking at this like, look, I've been living in the dream world. I can transform into a giant caterpillar and the TV. I got nothing for this one. The Krampus is like, because he keeps that open mouth thing going on in the Moji. Just grabs Freddy with the chains, like, get out of my way, Freddy. Just, he does a little setting the Krampus on fire thing. Krampus kind of just yells, but he just takes his coat off, and he just rears up. He's like, and now Freddy's like, that might not have been a good idea. And then, they kind of just charge at each other. He basically, physically speaking, I have no doubt the Krampus is stronger than Freddy Krueger. Freddy does have a legitimate weapon that he can stab the Krampus with and probably hurt the Krampus. But unless he's getting a headshot and actually going through the skull, I doubt it's going to kill the Krampus. It's probably just going to more annoying. And then, just throws him around. Freddy, meanwhile, is going to tries to do what little reality warping he can, but he's immediately knows it gets freaking cold out here, bitch. So he's now in his glove is he's shaking. His glove is just icing over. He sees these little freaking things. He's like, "What the hell are these?" And he's able to, I'm sure he'd actually be able to take out the elves with just cha. The Krampus is just looking at him, just grabs Freddy and just boom, makes him fall into the I swear I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna gut you like the billy goat you are. And all of a sudden, he just feels something grabs like, rah, gets pulled under. And then Krampus just looks at the kid, decides to give him a reprieve for a brief moment, and just goes over and just has Freddy like, and just has him upside down, basically, kind of like what happened in Freddy vs. Jason. He was upside down on that thing, and he looks at Jason like, oh no! It's like, what? And then throws him into the underworld, not killing him, basically imprisoning him into a snow globe. The Freddy Krueger Christmas, everyone. And Freddy's just like, what the hell? So yeah. However, that's it. So in the straight, so this isn't going to be the same as I normally do it. Like, okay, there's two scenarios. Because here's the thing about that. While Freddy is in the real world, there's nothing saying he couldn't go back in a dream. I don't think we've ever established if Freddy could actually traverse back into the dream world. Because as long as you know of Freddy, as long as you know his name, he will be able to show up in the dream world because he existed in the dream world. I don't know if being in the real world prevents you from doing that. However, there's a supernatural element to this as well. So he's not actually no longer in. So actually, there's your technically your loophole for that in this case is that in the initial real world fight, Krampus wins the fight, and then he punishes the family and blah blah blah. Actually, no, you know what? I think in seeing that some of his family actually is legitimately dead because he didn't kill anyone. Let's be clear: the Krampus didn't kill anyone. He just like sent them into like an internal prison. But he sees that actually a couple of his family is dead, and he was like, "You know what? I think you learned a lesson tonight, kid. This one's on me." So Krampus actually leave him alone. Besides, I got a new toy to fuck with. But because of that supernatural element that the Krampus has, and I imagine that because Christmas is only around for so long, what does the Krampus do with the rest of the time? I'm sure he has hobbies. But does he sleep? If the Krampus sleeps, and if Santa sleeps, I'm guessing he does. And I'm talking about a fictional character, but Santa's real, kids. Santa's real. Never lose faith in Santa. I would believe that, assuming the Krampus sleeps, Freddy, being the fact that he's no longer technically in the real world, trapped in a kind of separate dimension, like a supernatural thing, he could bypass that and go into the Krampus' dreams and go for round 2. Now, in round 2 in the dream world, Freddy's got all the power he needs. However, the question is, can he basically use fear over the Krampus, strengthen himself to eventually take the life of the Krampus? The problem I have with that is that the Krampus is probably as old as Santa, basically. If he's the shadow of Saint Nicholas, as they described in the movie. So when Santa was created, he was created. So he's got to be as old as Santa. And in mythology, Santa's probably like hundreds or not thousands years old. Krampus would be that as such. Freddy's been around for a while, past his probably normal life. No, probably not past his normal lifespan, but he's been around for a while. But he's not a couple hundred-year-old demon. So Krampus, for all intent and purposes, is still like a demon in his own right. So his power, if anything, his powers might be amplified in the dream world because he's probably got a willpower strong enough to actually utilize his imagination properly in a dream setting. So, and Freddy would have a problem with that. Now, is there anything that you can think of that the Krampus fears? Maybe Santa? I don't get the impression that he feared Santa. I just got the impression that he was because it's not like they ever tried to call Santa to try to fight him or anything like that. I just get the impression that they are two sides of the same coin, and therefore there's the healthy respect between the two, but knowledge that we probably wouldn't want to mess with the other one. But that doesn't equate fear. So apart from that, if you can think of something that Krampus might fear, at least remember, we're using that movie, that version of the Krampus, that movie Krampus. If you can think of something that the Krampus might actually fear, I'd be willing to hear it. But unless you can, I can't think of any like a true advantage Freddy would have over him, apart from not being able to die. But again, eventually the Krampus just maybe snagging him with a chain, waking up, dragging him back, and this time realizing, okay, I tried to steal you up, you escaped. I'm just gonna kill you. So, and the Krampus just skewering with his horn, or just choking him out with his chains, or just pinheading him with some chains, or just feeding him to his demonic helpers. I don't know, the little toy elves or whatever. So, I see the Krampus winning basically all these fights. I do think it's an interesting concept though that normally with a Freddy fight, I have to do a real world and a dream world scenario, and this one they kind of just traverse into each other. So I found that kind of cool for this fight. But let me know what you think. I think the Krampus pretty much takes this 100% of the time, honestly. But what do you think? Do you think the Krampus would win, but not by as much, or do you think Freddy would completely stomp? Do you think it's more even than I thought? Do you think it's just as one-sided as I made it out to be? What do you think? Put in the comments below. Let me know. Thanks for watching, though. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for wins, Star Wars, superhero magic, what if, anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to it at some point. I'm going to be pre-recording the what if and tomorrow's who would win as well, so keep your eyes out for that. Also, keep your eyes out for the Death Battle prediction coming out tomorrow. Because we got Samurai Jack versus Afro. My money is still on Samurai Jack. I'm sticking with that. I heard someone just like say, or I saw someone basically comment when I did that prediction, say, "Dude, you're gonna take a serious L on this." Like, really? Okay, if you think so. I don't think I am. I think I'm actually pretty. Most people, the majority of people, seem to agree. Like the 90% of the people who commented in that video seem to agree that they think Jack's gonna win. But I saw some people try to defend Afro. We'll see what happens with that though. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next time.